It was the summer of 1994 when the small town of Euro in Honduras was hit by a biblical plague. It started out like any other day. The sun was shining, the birds were tweeting, and the locals were getting on with their daily routines. But then the sky darkened and an unbearable stench filled the air. Then it began to rain. At first it was just a light drizzle, but soon the downpour became torrential. People ran for cover as the rain washed over the town. And when they looked up into the sky, they saw something that made their blood run cold. It wasn't water that was falling from the sky, it was fish, thousands upon thousands of them. They were coming down in such numbers that they clogged the streets and waterways. People were absolutely stunned. They had never seen anything like it before. As the rain continued, more and more fish rained down onto the town until finally the skies cleared and the only sound that could be heard was the glug, glug, glug of the fish hitting the ground. When the townspeople emerged from their homes to survey the damage, they found that the fish had pretty much destroyed the local ecosystem. All of the crops had been destroyed and the river was now full of fish. No one knew what to do. They had never experienced anything like this before. News of the fish rain quickly spread, and soon people from all over the country were flocking to Euro to see the biblical plague for themselves. Many of them were religious and they saw the fish rain as a sign of God's wrath. Others were simply amazed by the sheer scale of the event. It was estimated that over 300,000 pounds of fish were deposited onto Euro that day. But how did they get there? There are a number of theories, but no one knows for sure how the fish got into the sky. Some believe that the fish were deliberately put there by God as a punishment for the sins of man. Others believe that the fish were the victims of a freak natural phenomenon known as fish rain. Fish rain is a rare but well-documented natural phenomenon in which large numbers of fish seemingly fall from the sky. While there have only been a handful of reported cases, the most famous of which occurred in 1896 in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where an estimated 2 million pounds of fish fell from the sky over the course of 2 hours. In most cases, the fish are found to have been carried aloft by strong winds or tornadoes and then released back to Earth when the winds die down. In other cases, the fish are swept up by waterspouts, which are essentially tornadoes over water. The waterspouts can pick up fish and other marine life and deposit them many miles inland. This is thought to be what happened in Muskogee, as an estimated 2 million pounds of fish were found over an area of around 25 square miles. There are also a few documented cases of fish raining down on boats and animals. In 1817, a group of fishermen were sailing along the coast of New Zealand when they saw a pod of whales surface nearby. The fishermen watched as the whales were suddenly struck by a violent fit of coughing. The whales were so violent that they were literally shaking themselves dry, and as they shook, hundreds of fish were dislodged from their mouths and rained down onto the boat. The fishermen were able to collect around 500 fish, which they then added to their catch for the day. Another strange case of fish raining from the sky occurred in 1859, when a farmer in Ohio reported finding hundreds of dead fish in his barn. The fish had apparently been brought in by a tornado that had swept through the area the night before. But the strangest part of the story is that the farmer had actually seen the fish in the sky the night before, and he had even taken a photograph of them. Unfortunately, the photo didn't turn out very well and the fish couldn't be identified. However, the farmer's description of the fish was so accurate that other farmers in the area came forward and said that they had also seen the same thing. One of them even claimed to have seen a whale in the sky. So what really happened in Euro, Honduras? Was it a biblical plague, a freak natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? Unfortunately, there is no evidence to support any of these claims. The only thing we know for sure is that a lot of fish fell from the sky and that they caused a lot of damage to the town. Whatever the cause, it is safe to say that the people of Euro will never forget the day that it rained fish. Now, check out biggest animal caught on camera that science can't explain. Or watch This Place Doesn't Look Real, but it is.